Very welcome to the Swedish Academy. My name is Mats Malm. I fill the function of permanent secretary. The Academy has convened and can now announce its decision on the Nobel Prize in Literature. The Nobel Prize in Literature for 2024 is awarded to South Korean author Han Kang for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life. I was able to talk to Han Kang on the phone. She was having an ordinary day, it seems, having just finished supper with her son. She wasn't really prepared for this, but we have begun to discuss preparations for December. We look very much forward to meeting her here then. And I'll give the floor to Anders Olsson, chair of the Nobel Committee, who will present the laureate. After that, committee members Ellen Mattsson and Anna-Karin Palm will be answering questions in individual interviews. Thank you.
Welcome to this press conference on the Nobel Prize Laureate of Literature 2024, Han Kang. My name is Anders Olsson, chair of the Nobel Committee. The other members of the Nobel Committee that have prepared this year's Nobel Prize in Literature are Ellen Mattsson, Anna-Karin Palm, Stig Sandberg, and Anne Svärd. Our co-opted committee member has been Mats Malm, permanent secretary of the Swedish Academy. After my presentation of the laureate's work in Swedish and English, my colleagues from the Nobel Committee, Ellen Mattsson and Anna-Karin Palm, will take individual interviews from the floor. More information about our laureate can be found on the Nobel Foundation's website, www.nobelprize.org. Han Kang, the 2024 Nobel Laureate in Literature, is the first writer from South Korea to be awarded the Literature Prize. She was born in 1970 in Gwangju and has, alongside her authorship, also devoted herself to music and art. Her work in crossing the boundaries between art forms is clearly reflected in her writing, which has a broad span in terms of genre. In 1993, she debuted as a poet in the magazine Literature and Society, and 2 years later made her prose debut with a collection of short stories. Her major international breakthrough was the novel The Vegetarian from 2007, and a harshly effective yet poetic portrayal of the violent consequences that proceed from the protagonist's refusal to eat meat. Han Kang's physical empathy for the vulnerable, often female lives is palpable and reinforced by her metaphorically charged prose. In the novel Greek Lessons from 2011, love develops tenderly between a woman who has lost the power of speech and a teacher of ancient Greek who himself is losing his sight. The book becomes a beautiful meditation around loss, intimacy, and the ultimate conditions of language. In the novel Human Acts from 2014, Han Kang this time employs as a political foundation a historical event that took place in the city of Gwangju, where she herself grew up, and where hundreds of students and unarmed civilians were murdered during a massacre in 1980. In her brutal actualization, Han Kang approaches the genre of witness literature. In the White Book from 2016, Han Kang's poetic style once again dominates. The book is an elegy dedicated to the person who could have been the self's elder sister, but who passed away only a couple of hours after birth. In a sequence of short notes, all concerning white objects, it is through this whiteness that the work as a whole is associatively constructed. This makes it less a novel and more a kind of secular prayer book, as it has also been described. It is in addressing the dead that the novel reaches its final words. Within that white, all of those white things, I will breathe in the last breath you released. Another highlight of her authorship is finally We Do Not Part from 2021. The story unfolds in the shadow of a massacre that took place in the late 1940s on South Korea's Jeju Island, where tens of thousands of people, among them children and the elderly, were shot on suspicion of being collaborators. The book masterfully portrays the mourning process undertaken by the narrator and her female friend, who both carry with them the disaster that has befallen their relatives. With an imagery that is as precise as it is condensed, Han Kang emphasizes not only the power of the past over the present, but also the friend's attempts to bring to light what has fallen into collective oblivion and transform their trauma into a joint art project which lends the book its title. In her oeuvre, Han Kang, as expressed in the Academy citation, confronts historical traumas and in each of her works exposes the fragility of human life. She has a unique awareness of the connections between body and soul, the living and the dead, and in her poetic and experimental style has become an innovator in contemporary prose. Several works are translated to French and German. In English, we have Convalescence, in 2013, The Vegetarian, 2015, Human Acts, 2016, The White Book, 2017, Europa, 2019, Greek Lessons, 2023, and We Do Not Part, which is planned to come out next year, 2025. Thank you for listening and for joining us today.